One of the stars of the upcoming DC film Batman vs. Superman, Henry Cavill, was recently asked if the new film could be considered a Man of Steel sequel. Cavill said the following: "I wouldn't call this a Superman sequel. This is Batman vs. Superman, so it's a separate entity altogether. It's introducing the Batman character and expanding upon the universe, which was kicked off by Man of Steel. Everything could change in the editing room, but as it stands, it's definitely an introduction to the character and ultimately an introduction to Justice League." John, what do you think of Cavill's comments?
These are perfect comments. He absolutely nailed it. Like, I remember when Batman versus Superman got announced, there was a lot of people that were complaining, this is supposed to be a Man of Steel sequel. No, it's not. Like, in as much as not Justice League, I'm sorry, that the Avengers was not a Captain America sequel. Justice League was not a Thor sequel. Winter Soldier was the Captain America sequel, and that just came later. And that's the way I think DC fans need to look at this particular incarnation of this, is that, okay, we had Man of Steel. Now we have, the formation of the Justice League, because could kind of be called Justice League the beginning. Well, it's Dawn of Justice. So they're going to introduce a new character in this, and we are going to get a Man of Steel sequel. There's not one announced yet, but they did say they're going to do one. It's just not any particular date. There's going to be a Man of Steel sequel. So I think the people who are looking for this movie, who wanted this to be the Man of Steel sequel, they just need to get out of that mindset and understand this is a different story, same character, same timeline, everything, but this is a different story that doesn't focus on Superman. It's going to be about Superman and Batman together. But then look forward to your Superman sequel later. Anyway, Mark, how do you see it?
I'm thrilled with these comments because I didn't need a Man of Steel sequel as badly as I think that film needed more characters like what we're going to get. Not only Batman, but the rest of the Justice League. The only problem I have with those comments is that he says, now this all could change in the editing room. It's like, dude, shut up, okay? Because that totally means it's like, well, this is what they told us, but they could all change this in the editing room. I hope they don't change anything in the editing room, that's the way it goes. From the trailer that we saw, that's the movie that I want to see. My concern would be, now how much are you going to introduce everybody else in the Justice League? Because we've been hearing about all these other characters that are going to appear in this film. We got pretty much no mention of that from that teaser trailer that we saw. And again, that was just a teaser, but seeing Batman v Superman is good enough for an entire film for me. So how do we shoehorn all those other members of the Justice League in there without them clouding that picture of Batman versus Superman?
These are perfect comments. They're perfect comments because I think that what it was in the beginning, there was just confusion among the fans more than anything else.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, this is Batman v Superman. That's the sequel? Well, you're not even going to get much of a sequel. How much is Batman even going to be in it? Because it's a sequel. Now we got to find out more about Clark and his family and this. And by him saying this, it goes, we'll get the Man of Steel sequel eventually. That this just lets everyone know. I love the comments because, like he says, it's the beginning. That's the dawn of justice. It's the beginning of the Justice League, and we'll see. We know what's going to happen eventually. Batman and Superman, they're going to make up, and everything's going to be nice. But let's see how bad it's got to go before that happens, and all these different characters. We can't focus on Kal-El's story in this movie, and then the dawn of justice, the beginning of Justice League, because then it gets Spider-Man 2-ish. And you'll get too confusing. So I love that these were the comments. And as far as the editing room, no, you shut up. You don't tell Superman to shut up. But as far as those comments go in the editing room, it's just him covering his behind in case because
a lot can happen between now and 2016.
Yeah. So if someone in the editing room, or if Zack Snyder and Kevin Suchihara say, well, let's actually play more that it is a sequel, and he goes, well, I didn't know. At least he said that, but it's not going to happen.
Now imagine this, and let me preface this by saying this is not my prediction at all, but imagine DC decided to throw a massive curveball, like a massive curveball. Okay, what was conspicuous by its absence in that big DC announcement? A Man of Steel 2. Mm-hmm. What if Batman kills this fool in Batman versus Superman? Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. I'm just saying, what if like we all expect we know at the end, and Batman, Superman gonna hug it out. It's like everything's good. And then at the end, nope. Batman pulls out a kryptonite shiv.
And then they bring Debbie Downer from Saturday Night Live.
That would have been a great comment. It's like, this could all change in the editing room. I could survive this movie.